Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Enter, welcome back to the channel, and we've got 10.10 data mining to go over today. There's not a whole lot of super concrete stuff, but there are a fair amount of year 11 mentions, as well as a 10.13, which we were kind of speculating we were going to get. It seems like we are going to get that. And Data T129 is going to be coming in 10.13. So yeah, let's just jump right in. So yeah, as always, data mining is a way of obtaining early data on what Hi-Rez is working on. It's not always 100% accurate. A lot of it is pretty damn accurate, but take everything that's said here with a grain of salt. It might only be partially the truth or like a complete decoy from Hi-Rez, so keep that in mind. And yeah, the purple text stuff is stuff that's new to this specific data mining patch of information. All the white stuff is stuff we've known about from previous patch data mining, so if you've been keeping up with my videos, you probably know about all that stuff. I'll mostly just be going over the purple stuff in this video, because I know a lot of people have already seen what's going on with the other stuff. So firstly, in patch 10.12, we're going to be getting a Worlds Battle Pass, which is going to have announcer packs, jump stamps, avatars, player titles, ward music themes, death stamps, loading frames, recall skins, and also a Gormizer Worlds Battle Pass thing, which I assume is an announcer pack for Gormizer. You know, presumably he doesn't have one yet, and that's what they're going for. You know, he's become an SPL caster somewhat recently, and so they're going for an announcer pack for Gormizer. Along with, of course, a bunch of other stuff that I imagine is going to be Worlds themed. You know, maybe it'll be themed around the teams, maybe it'll be like, you know, World, like the player title is probably like SWC 2023 or whatever, like it was with the previous ones. We're going to be getting Color Forge Part 2, which I'm very excited about. I think the Color Forge event was one of the coolest events they've done in a long time. Being able to recolor all of the skins in there was really cool. So very excited to see them do more with this kind of technology. I also do want to see them do like modular like weaponry or like armor pieces that you could swap out from your character. That might be like tier 5 worthy, because that would be a lot of work. But if you could on the fly change the color of the model, you could probably on the fly change like which armor pieces are attached and stuff like that as well, which I think would make a really cool tier 5 skin. So hopefully they go a little bit further with this tech, but yeah, we are getting Color Forge Part 2, which should have some very cool skins in. In terms of chest, there's an Energy Punk chest, a Ghouls and Monsters bundle with a Ymir skin in there, also a couple of jump stamps. Moving on to patch 10.13 though, 10.13, this is not usual. You know, normally in Modern Smite we have 12 patches in a year, basically one for every month, and then it ends on like 9.12 like last year did. And then we move into Worlds and the next year, but it seems like this time we are going to be getting a patch 10.13, which is exciting. You know, it's essentially a bonus patch that we didn't necessarily think we were going to be getting. 10.13 seems to be divided into two parts, one for December and another for January, which is quite interesting. Apologies for the bad lighting there. I don't know how long it was that bad. It was like really dark. I just had to shut my window. I think a lot of the light coming in from natural light was like messing with my camera. But yeah, so patch 10.13 going to be divided into two parts, one for December and another for January. So it's going to be like a 10.13.1 and 10.13.2, or like, you know, just part 1 and part 2. Another for January is very interesting. So part 2 of the final patch of this year is going to be released in January. You know, normally mid to late January is when we get the patch for the new year in Smite. And so he says here like maybe December for 10.13 part 1, that makes sense, and then January 10th for 10.13 part 2, and then maybe January 25th for the new season launch. I guess that makes reasonable sense, 2 weeks in between patches with that, so that would follow pretty well. As to why they're dividing it into two parts, I have absolutely no idea. This could be for some kind of event that's going on, or for the God release or something, which we'll talk about in a second. Also, I'm not sure if 10.13 is even going to be a part of the Season of Celebration, because the Season of Celebration started in 10.9. So if 10.13 in two parts is the case, then we will be having like 10.9, 10.10, 10.11, 10.12, 10.13 part 1, 10.13 part 2. That would be 6 patches in this one season, which is way longer than any other one. So maybe it's possible as well that the Season of Celebration ends with 10.12 and then they do one final like weird thing, like not a season but like a patch 10.13 at the end of it. I don't know. But there is a God release which is currently unknown, but we do have a little bit of information on it. I'll probably cover it in this video, because I've only covered it briefly in a previous data mining video, and it's quite important info, so I will cover that. But they're confirmed to be in 10.13. It's currently unknown if they're part 1 or part 2, so whether they're going to be releasing in like mid to late December or like early January. Respectively. I would imagine this comes in part 1 of the patch in December, because if you're going to be releasing a God in part 2, like so close to the start of the new season, or the new year, I suppose is the terminology now that we should use, I feel like that's a little bit too close to, like, you know, it's literally just one patch like 2 weeks away from the launch of the new season. I don't think it would like go over too well to have a God release that close to it. especially if they want to start off the year with a god release like they did this time with Surtur. So if they're going to want to start off with a god release, they're definitely not releasing 2 gods like back-to-back in patches like this. So probably this Unknown God release is coming in 10.13 Part 1, which is going to be in December this year. In terms of new events, we got VShojo Part 2, so we're going to be getting some more VTuber action, more swearing in your games, we love that. More food stuff, an SWC event with a jump stamp, global emote, and recall skin. The year 11 pass is also going to be launching in 10.13 Part 2, so that is in like January or whatever. And also there's going to be a Festival of Spirits, which seems like some kind of event that they've got going on in 10.13 Part 2, probably to like kind of send off year 10 Smite and move into year 11 pretty soon after that. There's a Foxy Archer chest, a new Bellona skin coming. And then they've got a little bit of information on the first year 11 patch 11.1. There are spooky door guards. It's a bot, so it must be an NPC and unknown if it's for Conquest. So of course we have very little information on what's actually going to be changing for year 11 Conquest, but I imagine this probably is a Conquest mechanic. It's possible that like maybe doors in arena or something, and they're guarding like the doors to the fountain, but like the Conquest has had those opening doors for a few seasons now, and so if they end up keeping them, maybe this is tied to that, you know, maybe it's like a door guard in the sense that like the aggressive team, if they want to use that door, they have to like kill the door guard, or like if they walk through, they take damage or something. I don't know. I'm very much just speculating here, but that's probably some kind of Conquest mechanic for year 11, I would imagine. Anubis, Arthur, and Yamoja skins also coming in the first patch of next year, and also 11.2 is going to be the God release, right? So I was mentioning further up here that the God release is probably not going to be in part 2 of the 10.13 patch, but that's actually possible now, because if they're not doing a God release in 11.1 and they're waiting until 11.2, then there will be a reasonable gap between that 11.2 God and the 10.13 part 2 God as well, so that could be more reasonable, so we'll see. Patch 10.13 is going to have a new God, it's just which part of it is going to have a new God we don't know yet. So for year 11, there's like one new line here, but I'll go over all of this as well because it's quite important information. So basically, there's mentions of procedural environment props labeled as Conquest Year 11. There's also a mention to permanent props. This could mean that they're configuring the map to be a bit more easier to replace props depending on the seasons or themes. This makes sense, you know, that they've been really adjusting the map substantially with every season of Year 10, and with Year 11, I imagine they're going to do the same thing, have seasons and have the map themed around them and all that kind of stuff, so it would make sense to have props that are very easily replaceable with something different to just, like, switch up the feel of the map and make new season patches a little bit easier to develop. And a bunch of like props and foliage and stuff as well. And then also procedural environment props for Conquest theme at Year 11. So yeah, basically, we know Year 11's coming. Conquest is going to be getting an overhaul with it. We know that. There's Charon Cart as well. I mentioned this like in a data mining a while back, but we are going to be getting Charon Cart. We don't actually know what patch it's going to be in by the looks of it, but and to be honest, like this could just be a troll from Hi-Rez. They do like to troll data miners occasionally because they don't like people data mining the game, so it's definitely possible they just put some like reference to Charon Cart in the files when they're never actually going to do it. Especially because Charon's been released for quite a while now, and we've got a new god after him already, and Charon Cart still hasn't come out. Definitely possible this is just complete decoy, but yeah, in the files there is a mention of Charon Cart, which will be similar to the Apollo's Racer Rumble Smite Car adventure that we got like ages ago at this point. So yeah, for Deity 129, we are getting an extra god release this year compared to what we thought. You know, we thought Mount Brigitte was going to be the last god of the year, but it turns out no. We are going to have a 10.13 patch, and that is when this Deity 129 is going to be released. We have done some speculation on who this is going to be before, but I'll just go back over it. So it uses Khepri as a base model for development, uses some Olorun things for materials, and some Artio things like the bear and the staff. It's going to be a magical melee guardian with high defense, so basically your standard guardian there. A lot of the theories are pointing to Nanook from the Inuit Pantheon, because of the bear stuff. He is like a polar bear god, basically. And also Olorun kind of associated with the stars and like celestialness and things like that. And Inuit also, you know, Northern Lights, stars, very in theme for that. So it definitely could be that we're going to be getting Nanook, and that'll be a new Pantheon. I know Hi-Rez have said they don't really want to introduce any more new Pantheons, but this does point quite heavily towards Nanook. But of course, it could be someone different completely. And the fact that it's using Khepri as a model for base development, quite a large quadrupedal model, it would make sense if they were going for some kind of bear god. But yeah, Deity 129, basically all but confirmed at this point. We don't fully know who it's going to be, but that's going to be in 10.13. So a little while away at this point. We've still got 10.11 and 10.12 to go through before we get there. But we just had Madame Brigitte as a release, and she's really cool. So it will be fun to have a god to close out the year and then move into year 11 Smite. But yeah, that's all the data mining, all the new stuff we've got so far. I just wanted to bring you guys a quick video on updates on what's going on with the data mining, because the last data mining post for 10.9, it really had like almost no new info, so I didn't bother covering it. So it's been since 10.8 that we have had any data mining like worth covering, so I thought I would cover it all in this video, just update you guys on what's going on with that and what's coming. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I will catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.